Scientists have yet to discover what the mind is and how the brain produces consciousness. What makes us, us, has always been elusive. This question is one of the oldest and most challenging questions of our existence. Most religions believe in some type of afterlife, be it a heaven or a hell, nirvana. All religions seem to show that there is something beyond the physical realm. If we can provide evidence for the existence of the mind, we may be able to open up the possibility of other non-material realities such as the soul and the spiritual realm. Do you believe in an eternal soul?
I definitely believe in an eternal soul. I believe that our soul is connected to us. It's a non-physical being. It's like in another dimension, another realm, and it's connected to us in order for us actually to be here on earth as a person.
It's the highest, most noble part of yourself that you can reach for.
If we didn't have souls, I kind of feel like life wouldn't be worth living. It's like we get to the end of our life, and if there's nothing to measure it up against, like damning our soul to hell versus letting our soul go to heaven, if you didn't have a soul and you couldn't aspire to those ends, then why would life be worth living? That's why I believe there's a soul.
There is no evidence of a soul, and plenty of evidence to suggest that consciousness is merely an unintended side effect of the human brain's natural functions.
I believe that it is literally, when you pick up the phone and then you have your 4G network, the soul is the 4G network to right to heaven to me.
Are dreams related to our souls?
I think definitely dreams are related to our souls. Once we go to sleep, it's like our ego self goes to sleep with us. So the soul can come in and give us pictures and give us messages. So that's why there are a lot of dream interpreters out there. Or they say, write down your dreams every morning when you wake up, and then you can see if there's a pattern. There can be messages from your soul.
That you are beyond form, that is the soul. That is who you are in essence.
But our free will puts these other layers on the soul, and then the soul is judged from there. Well, I believe in a higher power, and that higher power judges the layers that have happened to the soul.
The soul is infinite, so there's no in or out of it. It is everywhere. There's no place that it is not.
So that's what we're like. Inside is the being that God has already created. Some call it the Christ, the Buddha mind, the Shekinah, the light, the soul. And our job is to get rid of this excess, useless fear, thought forms of the world that actually hide the light of the soul.
It is when you think about the chemical reactions powering your life and your brain that you realize how completely imaginary your soul truly is. And at that point, everything about religion comes unraveled.
A common element that occurs early in near-death experiences is what's called an out-of-body experience. At that time, the person seems to be able to see and hear things going on, but up from the vantage point above their body. Often what they describe are the doctors frantically trying to bring them back to life.
Das nächste, was ich wieder weiß, ist, ja, dass ich wohl unter der Decke.
Next thing I know, I was hovering underneath the ceiling of the room. I could see down on myself laying on the operating table. And I saw the surgeons and heard them talking to each other. The scenario was pretty hectic. I realized that this was about life or death.
There may exist at the quantum level microtubule processes in our brains that may hold the answer to our consciousness or our souls. Today, there are many so-called mediums or channelers or psychics. Some of the more famous ones are George Anderson, Teresa Caputo, and John Edward. The human heart seems to hunger for more than this life offers. We are not designed at the level of theoretical physics. What really matters to us is what happens at the human scale, relationships to other people, and things we experience in a lifetime.
It's a different dimension. We can't traverse those different dimensions, so how can we understand something that's coming from another dimension? And that's why I believe there is a soul, because if we can't aspire to bigger and better things, why bother?
I don't believe there's bad and good souls. I believe that there's just love. That's really the main thing that we get through what some people call God. It could be called source energy. Sometimes people think of God as religion, so a lot of people use different names. So source energy or divine love is what I hear a lot. So all souls start out with love. And then when we get to the planet, we have free will. So we can basically do whatever we want. People that you might be called bad, you'd think, they are choosing not to use that maybe source energy or God energy and considered bad by some people, but really there's no good or bad. There is only love, and you might call good or bad, like the bad might be the shadow side, but if you shine a light on that shadow side, there's really only light and there's really only love.